The Vulture, the Cat, and the Birds. Once upon a time, in a forest, there was a gigantic tree. It had a huge trunk. In the trunk was a hollow space. The tree had many large and sturdy branches. One could see many nests alive with the chirping of little newborn chicks. The parents of the chicks used to hunt for food all day and come back before dark. One day, a blind old vulture came to live in the hollow of the tree. The birds staying above held a hurried conference. First, they were worried, but they realized that the vulture was old and blind. He could hardly move around. They decided to give him a share of their food, else, they knew he would soon die of starvation. The old vulture was touched by their kindness. He decided to make it his duty to protect their young when they were away for gathering food. Several days passed. Then one day, a cat happened to pass by during the day. The cat only saw the young fledglings. He did not see the vulture who was napping on a higher branch. He was thinking of days and days of food supply that was right in front of his eyes. But the young birds had seen the cat. Their twittering woke up the vulture. He swooped down to the ground with a shout. The cat got scared looking at the vulture and was ready to run away. But then he realized that the vulture was blind and his talons were blunt with age. Now the cat was no longer frightened. The vulture was questioning who he was. The cat confidently responded. He introduced himself. The vulture promptly threatened him. He asked the cat to leave immediately or be prepared to get killed. The cat in return cunningly asked if he could explain himself why he was here. The vulture allowed. The cat started explaining. With an intent to win over the trust of the vulture, he started off by saying that he lived on the banks of the Ganga. The birds there constantly spoke of the wisdom and learning of the vulture. The old vulture was not easily convinced. He was sure that cats like meat and he would easily prey on the little birds around. So the vulture was ready to kill the cat, but the cat persisted. The cat swayed the vulture into believing that he, the cat, had learned scriptures and had overcome passion. How could the wise bird kill a stranger who had come to him as a disciple? The vulture regrettably accepted the explanation. He allowed the cat to live in the hollow with himself. In some time, day after day, the cat stole some fledglings and devoured them in the hollow in the absence of the vulture. He did not reveal himself to the birds. Each evening, when the birds returned home, they found some fledglings missing. Eventually, the birds grew anxious. They decided to investigate the matter. Hearing this, the cat opted to run away to fresh hunting grounds. He sneaked away as soon as he could. Meanwhile, the birds flew hither-thither. One of them found the remains of the eaten birds near the hollow of the tree. The vulture was resting nearby, oblivious to all this. The birds concluded that it must have been the vulture who was eating the helpless young. They grew angry about his ungratefulness. They pecked to death the poor vulture. His only fault was that he had treated the cat as a friend, although he was barely acquainted with the cat.